Alright, what's up everybody? How you guys doing today? My phone battery is almost dead. I guess I need to plug this thing in. I hope everybody is awesome. We are just about ready to get this thing kicked off. Oh boy. Hold on a second. I'm having some technical difficulties getting my phone plugged in. I think that might actually be user error, but you know, I'll blame it on technical difficulties instead. So how's everyone's day going? Hope you guys are awesome. I really do. All right, let's see. And the camera's not working, but bam, that should fix it, I hope. Dear camera. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, hold on a second. Every once in a while this happens, and I'm not really sure why, but it's like sometimes the capture card on this little interface does not pull up the camera. I don't know what the deal is, but it does not appear to be working, and I do not appreciate it. Let's try this. I wish there was a way to turn just that part off, because it's got the audio and the video things all in one device. So maybe we're not going to have a camera today. I don't know. The camera appears to be broken. Well, the camera's not broken, but the interface is being a turd burger, so I guess we just won't have the camera for today's stream. Anyways, how's everyone doing today? Alright, we're going to find a car to live race. I wonder if this has a live racing setup. You know what? I haven't driven this thing in a long time. We're going to try and set this up for live racing, guys and gals. I don't really remember much about this car other than I love the way it looks. It may not have a good live racing setup, but I'm about to find out really quick. I'm just going to try a really basic one, and if that doesn't work, then we'll grab a car that's already set up. I'm hoping this one works, because I really like this one. Alright, we'll just try this for now. Are we over 1,000 Evo points? Yeah, we can make this work. Perfect. What's up, Mr. Melon? How are you doing today? We got William D. We got McDonald. What's up, my man? How is your day going? We got JP, Crystal X. Hey, I'm trying to start my wild card, and it's... You know, sometimes this is why I miss these, because it pops up and I X out of it really quick to do something else. And then I don't collect them. I guess I'm always in too big of a hurry all the time. So I miss out on some of my free prizes because I do that. I've done that several times this season. I mean, normally I only miss like 0 to 1, but this time I've missed several, which is not good. Alright. Bam. Wild card is started. McDonald's doing good. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. JP says F. What about quit working 24 years old? Oh, your AC quit working? 24 years old, that's a long time, man. But yeah, ours broke a couple days ago. It was like in the 90s as well. It was very unpleasant for a couple of days. Now, I got an actual window air conditioner in my room because, you know, I just have a room here in this house, and they like to keep it on some redonkulous temperature. They like to keep it at like 78 degrees. And then my room gets up to like 85, so I keep a window air conditioner in here. Alright, so I want to get to like 11.4 here. Or 11.2. But I don't know why they like to keep it so warm. Alright, let's see if that'll run an 11.4. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear your AC went out. Hopefully you can get somebody out there to, you know, fix it quickly, because it is no fun when it's crazy hot. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh boy. I don't like the way that's driving. We might just set it up at 11.3 and leave it, see what that does. I'll either be in the 11.2 or the 11.4 lobby. But yeah, I don't like the way that's driving. We're going to put it back to 11.3. We're going to try it out, guys. Normally, I always go to the next 0.2 of a second, but the car doesn't like that for one. I'll try one more thing really quick. 11.370. 380. That should be pretty good right there. We'll try it. We'll try it. William D said it looked out during the summer, so it was brutal. Yeah, you know, it's probably good to have like a backup, like portable air conditioner or some window units laying around just in case, because man, it is horrible. It's actually horrible. Our house got up to like, what was it, 86, 85 inside. It was not pleasant. It was not pleasant whatsoever. But these days, for, I don't know, I think my little window unit was like $160, which is not horribly expensive. But it's probably good to have one around just in case. Alright, William D says once the compressor goes out, it's cheaper to replace. Yeah, I don't really know it. I mean, back in the day, I don't think a compressor cost that much, but I have no idea what they cost now. I really don't. Like, I think the central air in the house I live at's roughly 9 years old now. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's pay attention to what these opponents run, because that'll give us a somewhat of a good idea of what lobby we might actually be in. I think I'm going to be in the 11.4 lobby, guys and gals. I think I'm in the 11.4. So JP, you know, sometimes when things start, it does dim the lights in your house, especially if your lights are LED. One thing I've noticed is LED lights dim very easily, but I don't know, like our air conditioner, I think it's on its own circuit. So it probably doesn't dim the lights, but if it's on its, you know, if it's on a circuit with the other lights, I think that's normal. Even my little window air conditioner will dim some of the lights in some of the rooms when it kicks on. So I'm not sure if that's a problem or just a normal thing. I really don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Alright, William D put 11.4 lobby. We'll pin that up there. But then again, if something is having too hard of a time starting, then, you know, that causes problems as well. I am not an electronics expert, though. I'm just going by what I've observed over the years when window air conditioners or regular ones start, but generally I think your central AC should be on its own circuit on the fuse box. And then I don't think it'll dim the lights, but I could be wrong. Hey Nathan, what's up, my man? Can I make your... Alright, so Nathan, I don't remember... Okay, here's the problem with the Koenigsegg 1-to-1. It's not a wonderful car in the game, right? It's not a crazy good car. It's one of those cars that really looks awesome, but it's not wonderful these days. It's very hard to get, so if you do get one, that's great just to have it. Now, I don't really know if that's a car capable of beating the dyno or not, but I don't think generally it does very good in live racing. Anybody know if you can tune that car to beat the dyno? Because I don't think you really can, if I remember correctly. What's up, The Rock? How you doing today? Oh, that guy got me. He got me. How rude. How rude. Captain Morgan, how's it going? He says, is it possible to join a Discord, Danny? What kind of Discord are you looking for? Like, my Discord? Are you looking for just a CSR racing Discord? I mean, I'd imagine you're probably talking about mine. I mean, I don't really get on there very much, unfortunately. I'm pretty pressed on time. I have a hard time making time to go to Discord because I got so much stuff going on all the time. MaxTheGamer says, yes, Danny, Agura RS 1-to-1, there are probably 30 cars that can easily do it. But usually in my videos descriptions, I think there's a link to the Discord server there. I do believe. McDonald says, Danny, I beat you. Yes. Yes, you did. You're in probably a much better, well set up live racing car, right? I just threw mine together really quick. The car you're racing is excellent at live, so I'm not surprised. Ah, crap. Captain lost his old account. That sucks, my man. That sucks big time. I'm sorry to hear that. I would be contacting game support though. I would be up there being like, hey, can you guys restore my account? I would message them from their website and I would do it in-game both. Alright, Logan, let's see if we can get you or not. It doesn't look like it's going to connect. But a lot of the times, game support can actually restore your account progress if you get a hold of them. They're probably going to ask you some questions and require some specific information, but if you can provide that, they can usually restore your account. Three, two, one, battle. Alright, here we go. Ba-bam. I'll tell you what, I really like the way this car looks. I haven't driven this thing in a long time. Come on, go! Ooh, that's going to be a close race. Perfect. What did I actually run there? Alright, right about 11.4. I mean, this should be doing pretty decent. The way it's set up right now, it should win most of the live races. Probably not all of them, but it should do pretty good. You know, it's dynoed for 11.4 and it's running right at 11.4. That's normally what I shoot for. Those are normally good, fair live racing setups. You know, they do great, but people still have a chance to beat it, so. That's right about what I want to see when I shoot for a basic live racing setup. Alright. Max says, don't want too many, go to 9.2 lobbies or faster. 12-second lobbies. You know, there's a lot of variables, right? In live racing lobbies. Now, if you're swapping, I find that people are more honest to swap in the faster lobbies than some of the slower lobbies. If you're trying to put a car on low upgrades, 12, 11, 10-second lobbies are great, but it depends on what you're doing. I'm not really sure what Max is referring to there. But I like the slower lobbies for the low upgrade cars, but if you want to swap, set something up to, run in the 8, 9... You know, the 8-second lobbies are really good. Honestly, that's a great place for swapping, I think. If you get too fast though, you get into the super max and things are a little bit weird there, I would say. Ah, Max is talking about Dino Busters. Yeah, a lot of Dino Busters are in the slower lobbies. Max says, I don't believe in fair live racing setups. Max says, I set up to win. What in the world, Heck Thump? Who came up with that name? Oh, now he's gone and I'm all by myself. William D says, coffee is the nectar of the gods. EKT, what's up, my man? Crystal X says, I completely destroy people in live racing with my lower lobbies. Alright, you better be careful. You know, the FBI is going to be coming trying to figure out what happened to those people who that got destroyed. They're going to be like, hey, Crystal X is destroying people. We got to go get her, right? Dark Relic, how you doing today? All right, what's all the ruckus here? That's not what I meant to say, but where's all the people? What's up, Eddie? How are you today? All right, I don't know what's happening here. Maybe I'm going to leave this lobby and go back to a different one because this one just died. That lobby completely died. Yeah, I like my coffee. I like my coffee. Coffee's great. I honestly probably shouldn't be drinking coffee, but I really like it. I think it just depends on how much coffee you drink, whether it's good or bad for you, to tell you the truth. What's up, Benny? Good to see ya. Ah, crap. There's only one person here. Oh, now there's two. Oh my gosh, there's Melon. Alright, we're gonna race Melon. Mr. Melon, Mr. Melon. Max says, the game is resetting your matchmaking. Yeah, I don't know what it reset me to, but we'll find out, I guess. Like, it should see that I'm running right around 11.4, so hopefully it's resetting me to make sure I'm running people in the 11.4s. We shall see what happens. William D says, he doesn't upgrade anything. I upgrade some things. But if you want a lot of game cash and gold and everything else, you gotta be really stingy. Melon, we disconnected, my man. It broke, did. Now, when I first started playing, the first probably year or two that I played this game, I upgraded everything I got. And you almost have to as a new player. You're constantly having to upgrade every little teeny tiny thing, which is a giant pain in the butt. But eventually, after you get so far into the game and you get a lot of stuff done, you can just go ahead and chill out on upgrading things, and that allows you to save resources. So if you're really stingy with your resources, you can save that up. But it takes a few or several years for your average person to get that kind of game cash. Let's just say you spend between 30 minutes and 2 hours on this game a day. That's probably a couple years worth of saving up and being really stingy. What's up, Sleepy? How are you today? Green Viper, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. I don't know why, but I think orange with blue rims looks really good. I would prefer the rims to be a little more shiny and maybe a little bit brighter of a blue, but they still look awesome. Oh man, he's gone. Alright. Captain Morgan says, yes, I know, to begin all over again is boring. Honestly, I mean, I'm not really sure what it would be like to completely start over, but in some ways, it would be nice. Because you'd already know what you're doing, you'd have a big advantage in the game. You would know what not to do, how not to waste your resources. So you would be off to a really good start into the game, but it would be horrible to have to completely restart if you didn't want to. That would not be super fun, to tell you the truth. Sleepy says, good on you. I'm doing all right, thank you. Logan B says, I'm not sure why when I win it won't let people... Alright, those people have probably... Well, it could be a game disconnection error. Your device and their device may not like each other. Problem with this game is there's always a lot of issues, and there's really no way to know why you're having those issues or what's causing it. That's one of those things where if I had that problem, if that was like a constant thing on almost every race, I would contact game support and let them know that was happening. Maybe they can figure out why it's doing that. I'm not 100% sure, but I would definitely get hold of game support. All right. Captain says, nothing beats coffee strong. Yeah, I like coffee. Ah, crap, Melon disconnected. I'll tell you what, it's constant problems on this game. Alright, whose turn is it to win? I think it's your turn, right? I think, pretty sure. Maybe? I don't remember. I think it's his turn to win. Here we go. Max, how's your day going, man? If you guys aren't familiar with Max the Gamer, you might want to check out Max on YouTube. Hey, my launch, something didn't work right there. Oh, maybe it's my turn to win. Yeah, it was. Okay. Coffee is my favorite bean. You know what? It's really weird to think of coffee as a bean, but they are beans. That's weird. We grind beans up and pour water over top of it to make coffee. Think about that. Isn't that kind of weird? Don't you guys think that's strange? Marilyn, thanks, buddy. It sucks we keep disconnecting, but what can you do? Why does this car have 9 gears? That's crazy. You know, in some ways, I think a lot of gears would be good for some things, but if you had an actual stick shift and you had to sit there and push in the clutch and move the shifter 9 times, would that slow you down or make you go faster? I mean, I guess it depends on how good you are at shifting, but that's a lot of shifting. Crystal X, you've never had coffee before? Honestly, you know what? If you don't want to get addicted to it, don't have coffee, because it's addicting, right? You start drinking coffee all the time, then you're going to be like, I need coffee. And then if you don't have your coffee, you get a heck of a headache, and it's no fun, so it's probably best to avoid anything that's addicting. That's all I'm going to say, because Naveed, how's it going? I am playing on the LD player emulator. Max is not manual. He says 9 gears works best for automatics. Yeah, I figure like if a car has that many gears, it's either automatic or maybe a push button shifter or like a speed shifter or something, but I'm not really familiar with, you know, most cars that have a lot of gears like that. I don't really know much about them and how you would actually shift those cars. But you know, I mean, I've seen some cars, there's not really a clutch. There's just a thing you kick up and down to shift gears quickly. You know, it's kind of funny. I used to drive those little sprinters, those Mercedes sprinters for deliveries. It's like, you know, like a van for delivering stuff. But those are turbocharged, and they've got a quick shifter. You can set it into a mode where you just move the shifter. You just hit it to the left or the right to shift up and down with no clutch. Those were actually pretty fun to drive, to tell you the truth. Max says paddle shifters. Yeah, that would be much better, actually. Oh man, here's somebody in the big 1500 trucks. The TRX. Max says it allows more ratios to take advantage of the power bands of the motor. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. As long as you don't have to push in a clutch. And I mean, that would be a time waster. But yeah, if you got like a paddle shifter or some sort of quick shifter, that would probably be better to have more gears. William D says, my ZDX has paddle shifters. Green Viper, I think I'm at around 1,000 or 1,100 trophies on the showdown. Hopefully in the next couple of days I'll make it there. What's up, Ted and Mike? How you doing today? How are you? Bacard, what's going on? Or Bacardi, actually. Thoughts on the Jesco? I mean, it's a really cool car if you're looking for something that's pretty fast or something that can beat the dyno time by a lot. The Jesco can be a crazy dyno beating car, but yeah, they're really good cars depending on what you're trying to do with it. That's the thing. I mean, the Jesco is excellent if it's the type of car you're after, I guess. I mean, I don't remember it having a low upgrade live racing setup, but I do remember being able to set it up to destroy the dyno if you know what you're doing. Green Viper says, I don't have that in my dinosaur cars. Yeah, my cars, I used to drive a stick shift back in the day. I would always drive a stick shift, but after my autoimmune disease got too bad, I remember trying to push in the clutch it was so painful. When my autoimmune disease flared up, I can't push in the clutch, so I switched over to an automatic, unfortunately. William D, what are coffee cakes? What's up, Blue? How are you doing today? Dark says, if I ever want to taste coffee, that cake is slightly coffee flavored. It's awesome. I don't know what a coffee cake is, but I probably can't eat it. I can't eat anything made out of like wheat and certain grains, or I get super sick and it's not fun. What's up, Ron? He says, save the manuals. Yeah, I used to always love stick shifts. It was so fun driving a stick, 5-speed. Actually, I think my last car was a 6-speed. But yeah, the one I got now is just an automatic, which it's not as fun to drive, but I guess it's easier in a lot of ways. The Valor or the CC850 for live? Well, I mean, here's the thing. The Velar is going to be way easier to get fusion parts for. I'm not really sure if you have any parts to put in the CC850, but personally, I love the CC850. It's a really amazing car, but it's a lot harder to get fusion parts for. So if you got a decent amount of fusion parts for it, you can easily set that up to be a live racing beast. I mean, the Velar, depending on which Velar you're talking about, it may be pretty awesome. I think that newest Velar we got was pretty sweet. I think some of the older ones were kind of crappy though. So it depends on which Velar you're talking about. But I would say the CC850 is really nice. I mean, it's one of my favorite cars in the game for a lot of reasons. But they're both really good. I would check your fusion parts. I mean, Aston Martin parts are really easy to get. Koenigsegg parts, not so much. Which one's actually better? I think that's really just going to come down to personal preference as to which car you personally like better. Three, two, one, go. But I think that last Velar they added to the game was really good. And the CC850 is also really good. What's up, Silent? How you doing today? Infinite, how you doing? Good to see you guys. I appreciate everybody coming out to my crazy live stream. Oh yeah, I think I read off the wrong race pass cars on that video I made yesterday. I read off this season's race pass cars. I actually forgot. I meant to delete that. I meant to edit that out of the video, but if I remember when the stream ends, YouTube's actually got a video editor where you can have it erase parts that are in your video. I actually need to do that because I read off this season's and not the next upcoming ones. Silent, glad you're doing good. Ted and Mike says, for sale, brand new Ryan 1500 TRX. Lead sled, low miles. He wants 3 coffee cakes for it. I don't know if it's worth 3 coffee cakes for a 1500 TRX. Maybe half of a coffee cake. Alright. I still don't even know what a coffee cake is though, so. Oh man. Silent, I'm glad you're doing good. That's awesome. Max says, rode around in the TRX is just too big for my tastes. I actually enjoy trucks. I like trucks a lot. I don't know if you mean in real life, Max, but I like trucks. Personally, I think they cost too damn much, but I like trucks. I used to own a little Chevy ZR2 pickup truck. Like they're made for off-roading. Well, I mean, they're like the off-road package for the S10s. They came with like a lift kit and big tires and everything already on them. That was a cool little truck. Now, full-size trucks, they are pretty darn big. But I really liked that ZR2 I used to own. That thing was cool. The funny thing is, like, I used to know a lot of people who didn't realize it was an S10. Like, when they finally realized, they're like, wait a second. This is an S10? I thought it was a full-size truck. It's kind of funny how just, you know, big tires and having it set up higher fooled a lot of people, which surprised me because, I mean, when I see one, I instantly know they're S10s, but I shouldn't say a lot of people, but a couple people I knew were surprised when they were like, hey, this is an S10. Like, I used to work with this guy and we would carpool. And after like several months of carpooling, one day he was like, wait a second, I just realized this is an S10. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I can't believe you didn't notice already. You know, one thing I don't understand, like Infinite says, you can tell the ratio and proportions for the truck in the garage because it's so big, but I don't understand why they made that truck take up like the entire screen. It's way too big. I mean, they should have made it the normal size as everything else to where you can actually, you know, see it. Like when you click on it, it should zoom out basically so it doesn't look like it's taking up your entire screen. That's how I feel. They should zoom out. That way you can actually see the truck and not just like the headlights because it's that big. Max rode in one in real life. William D says, down south, all you see is trucks with lift kits and big tires. You know, when I was in Arizona, that was really popular out there as well. It used to be, you know, it used to be pretty popular to see lifted trucks around here. We don't see those too often anymore. You still see one every once in a while, but yeah. Down south, you still got those all over the place. In Arizona, I don't know if that's still popular or not, but there were all these like truck customization shops all over the place in Arizona. It was crazy. William D detailed a TRX. I can't even imagine what something like a TRX would actually cost. I mean, last time I was down at the Chevy dealership, I think some of those S10, not S10, some of those Silverados with the lift kit from the body were like 90 grand, 80 grand. I'm like, what? That's crazy. Crazy. Captain's looking for a crew to ride with. Captain, how many respect points do you normally make per season? Because that's going to be important to a lot of crews. Yeah, trucks have gotten really expensive. Ooh, max of the TRX is like 90K. I'm not surprised. I mean, you can here, I don't know about where you guys live, but here for 90,000 you can buy a really nice little house. Like a really nice little house. At least a few years ago you could. I haven't looked to see what the prices are lately, but 90,000 was a great little house around here. Max says you cannot be poor and own a nice truck. I agree. I agree for sure. Melon says 177. Sleepy says, which race pass car should I choose? Araya BC, Atlantic Concept, or the 177? Alright, Melon says grab the 177. I'll tell you what, I wish they would just add some of the world's best cars in the race pass. That would be amazing. I mean, some of the stuff in there is pretty good, but some of it's pretty bad sometimes. Some race passes are great and some are pretty disappointing. Ron said, give me a truck with a carburetor and I'm happy. Yeah, you know, those were probably a lot easier to work on and stuff back then. Green Viper says 90,000 here won't buy you an outhouse. Yeah, when I was in Arizona, like a house that would probably cost $100,000 where I'm at here would cost like $450,000 there. So it depends on where you live. I mean, some places are way cheaper. I'm not sure what current house prices are. I'm sure they've probably gone up over the last several years, so they may be more expensive than last time I looked, but Max says local condos are $400K. And the average house is $500K. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a house. Chad and Mike, what's wrong with your race pass? It just won't show up or what? Yeah, there's a big glitch with certain things not showing up. Alright, I think we should probably go. Thank you for the swaps. I hope I didn't cheat you out of a bunch of wins, because I don't think I was paying very good attention. Silent says, those prices for a house seem a bit expensive. It just depends on where you live. I mean, 10 years ago, alright, 10 years ago, where I live, you could buy a livable house for 40 or 50 grand. It would probably need a little bit of work, but it would be livable. But you know, it would be a small house. A small, old, nice house was 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand. A really nice house will cost you about 80 to 120. And a super nice house, like, I mean, for $400 or $500, 400, 500,000 around here, you can get a house that looks like a damn mansion. Like the nicest house on our street, a couple of houses down, some dude built this beautiful house a few years back. He bought a lot and just built this, what I consider like, I would have thought that house would have been close to $1 million when I saw it. I'm like, that's got to be really expensive. So I looked up the value and they're like, oh yeah, that house is worth like $450K. I'm like, oh wow, that's you know, to me that's a huge amount of money, but much cheaper than I thought it would be, you know. What happened there? What if the house that costs 40 to 50,000 is haunted? I guess that's a possibility. All right, there's Drew, man. I guess there's not a lot of people in my current lobby. Sleepy says in Texas you can get a house for 400K. Max doesn't believe that houses can be haunted. I don't know, Max. I've seen a ghost before. I actually lived in a house that I'm pretty sure was haunted. So when I was a kid, all right, the first house we lived in as a kid, it was this old school house. And I always thought there was some crazy stuff going on there. And I was scared to death as a kid. I mean, you would hear, it sounded like somebody would walk up and down the hallway all night long. And it would start right about a certain time every night. And it would end around a certain time every night. And once I got a little bit older, I got brave enough to go stick my head out into the hallway and look. And as soon as you would do that, it would stop. You'd go back in your room, lay down. 10 minutes later, you hear it going back up and down the hallway again. I mean, that's just one of the things. Like, now my dad rented the upstairs to a lady. And a couple times she went on vacation. And when she was gone, we would hear like banging. I mean, it would sound like somebody picked up a couch and dropped it. It was so loud, it shook the whole house. And my dad would go up there and couldn't find nothing. And the lady actually told us she would see a leprechaun. She seriously came down. She told us sometimes she sees a leprechaun running around her house up there. I'm not kidding. I mean, it was the weirdest house I've ever lived in. But I don't know what she was saying, but she thought there was a freaking leprechaun running around her house. I mean, that's just plain out weird. connection error. It's probably going to kick me back to the hangar. I think we lost connection to the servers, but I'm not really sure, but I think I lived in a haunted house. There was something really weird about that place. Ah, yeah, we got disconnected. But, you know, my dad thought the house was haunted. My friends, you know, when I was a kid, like, the neighbor kids would come stay the night. They thought the house was haunted. Like, everybody, you know, people wouldn't believe me when I told them that. But after they came over and they were like, you're right, this house really is haunted. Ah, stop that. So, I don't know. But the crazy thing is my parents never told me this till we got older. But someone actually, the guy who owned it at some point, killed himself with a shotgun in the kitchen. Right, I think it was right at midnight, which is right about the time that you would start hearing that cranking up and down the hallway. So after they told me that, that kind of confirmed it to me. I mean, I really think that house was haunted. I really do. Tattooed Mike says the leprechaun was just looking for his gold elite tokens. Yeah, I still think it's weird she thought it was a leprechaun, but there was a lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff. The house was creepy. William D says expansion of nails due to heat and humidity. Yeah, I don't know. It did this every day for the, I don't know, 15 years we lived there or whatever. Winter time, heat time, winter time, summertime, it didn't matter. It always happened every night between certain times. William D, I don't really have a good answer to your question there. Neither one sounds pleasant. I would not want somebody putting screws or nails into my body. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Either one's probably unhealthy for a human. That's all I'm gonna say. Can't be good for you. Green Viper said he's in Danny's live. Who is? I'm confused. Carl. Alright, Carl says in Ireland there's a park that protects leprechauns. So the question is, in Ireland, do they actually believe that leprechauns really exist? I don't personally believe in leprechauns, but 3, 2, 1, go. Some people might. I don't know. Alright, Logan also lived in a haunted house. Oh yeah, you know. I will say there's another thing, like I used to live with my ex-girlfriend back in the day, and she actually claimed like stuff would talk to her, and I'm like, I almost broke up with her when she told me this, because I'm like, this is just weird and freaky. I came really close to breaking up with her. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. Because I just thought, I'm like, either she's really weird or she's making this crap up, but after I moved in with her, we got this apartment and weird stuff would happen. The weirdest thing for me was the day I had a can of Pepsi sitting on the coffee table, and it started sliding across the coffee table, and I went to grab it and it stopped. And I picked up the can, there was no condensation under it. The table was completely dry. And there was another time, like, we were having a fight or something. I think I was sleeping on the floor in the loft or whatever the apartment had, because we had a fight. And I woke up, I thought I heard something whispering my name, and then all of a sudden I started hearing her screaming in the next room over, saying that the bed was shaking. I mean, there was some weird stuff that happened there, so I don't know. I think there's some strange things in life that don't exactly make sense. So I've got some weird stories. Don't know what that was, but weird stuff happens sometimes, and I don't know really know how you explain that kind of thing. Yeah, the ghost might have wanted a drink. But I mean, I've never seen anything like that happen before unless the table was wet and it was sliding on condensation, but the table was completely dry. Ah man, Dark had a haunted car. Now, I've never really heard of a haunted car other than in the movies. In the movies, that sounds like a pretty common thing to happen. He says it would make suspension noises sometimes, then when I said time to check the mechanics, the noise would stop. What's up, JP28? How are you doing today? Star, what's going on? Star says my childhood house's basement was haunted. Dark says that was Donna came to haunt me. Yeah, it might have been Donna. I would not be surprised. Slick, what's up, my man? How you been doing? I hope all is well. Just sounds like some witchcraft stuff. Yeah, I don't think it was, but still pretty freaky. Freaky deaky, whatever that means. Infinite says, I used to live in an old house built in the 1890s, and that's how it was. Carl says, the EU Habitats Detective, which protects endangered species and their habitats, was extended to include leprechauns in the something area. This was done as a way to protect the area's unique something there. That's kind of cool in a way. Carl says, you never know, the world is full of strange things. That's true. I don't know, I've seen a lot of weird and strange things in my life, and for example, I've also seen a really crazy UFO, but I'm not saying it was aliens. There might have been people flying that thing, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure the government has the kind of technology we could not even imagine that they hide from us, so there might have been people in this thing. It may not have been aliens. It might have just been people flying around in some crazy experimental aircraft, but I've seen some weird stuff in my life. And we actually live a few hours away from an Air Force base where they're known to have like experimental aircrafts and weapons and stuff there, so. Alright, Max has also seen a UFO. But my first thought was, are there people in this, or is this from outer space? That was the first thing I thought when I saw it. I'm like, this can't be real. But it was. Crystal X says, I really want the Liberty Walk F40. William D says, Area 51. I'm sure there's some weird stuff there too. Slick wants to know how many cups of coffee I had. Well, I probably had about 24 ounces of coffee this morning, so I guess that's like 3 cups of coffee. I could probably use a few more cups, honestly. Max says, great movie. Which one? Slick says, they hide a lot of stuff from us they don't want us to know. You know, I think one of the reasons the government does hide things, it's not even necessarily that they don't want the people to know they have it. It's that they don't want other countries to know that we have it. I think a lot of military weapons and aircrafts are, they just don't want people to know what we have. They don't want them to see our technology because, you know, they don't want other countries to be able to like figure out what it is and how to make it themselves and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the main reasons the government hides a lot of high-tech technology is, hey, we have this. We don't want anybody to know it exists because, well, if our enemies get a hold of it, that wouldn't be good type of deal. So I think that's why some things get like covered up or hidden, to tell you the truth. The Wraith. That was a cool movie. Crystal X says, I think Donna lives in Area 51. Maybe. She might. How did people come up with the ideas like comic book scary movies and sci-fi? I mean, people got imaginations, right? People have very vivid imaginations, so I could probably come up with, I mean, maybe not me. I suck at telling stories, or I'm not very creative anymore, but I'm sure when I was younger, I probably could have created some interesting stuff, but I would say that's just a vivid imagination right there. Andy Style, he says, greetings from Switzerland. I said that wrong, but whatever. Switzerland. Oh man, I can't talk today. But that's normal. Slick says, Donna gives me nightmares and she was great. Yeah, Donna. I have nightmares about Donna too. Darn you, Donna. Donna's the worst. Donna is the worst. Max says, our imagination takes over from there. Alright, Max thinks dragons came from people finding old dinosaur skeletons. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think dragons ever existed, but I can see somebody confusing like a dinosaur or skeleton or something like that with a dragon pretty easily. That's, you know, that's probably a pretty good theory there, Max. I mean, a dragon is basically just like almost like a lizard with dinosaur-like features. Sorta. I don't know. But you know, you got a pretty good point. Dinosaur skeleton could be it. Donna and her sinister smile. Yeah, you know, she's got that smirk on her face like, heh, I'm gonna give you some junk today and steal your keys. She knows what she's doing. Max, I don't know either. I'm just yapping, so I'm not paying attention, unfortunately. Alright, good swaps, good swaps. Some days I have a hard time paying attention to the live stream. So I'm just yapping too much. Star says, Jerry is haunting you with pop-up ads. Jerry does haunt us with pop-ups, I'll tell you. Alright, JP, you're saying they talk about dragons in the Bible? I don't remember that being in the Bible. Huh. That's interesting. Now, I haven't read it in a long time, but you know, when I was a kid, My mom would always read that to me, and I don't remember anything about dragons in there. But then again, my memory's not the greatest. Yeah, Donna flips you off and then gives you that smirk. I wonder if they intentionally said, hey, let's make her give people the middle finger and kind of disguise it to where they kind of know that's what's happening, but they're not really sure. You know what I mean? Alright, so Carl says the Amityville haunting is, you know, after a true story. Yeah, some terrible things like that are kind of a true thing, unfortunately. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm definitely bad at paying attention to what I'm doing. Captain Morgan says, Will, add me online, Captain Morgan. Even it says, I wouldn't put it past MM, every little aspect of the game is intentional and perfectly timed pop-ups to click on it accidentally. Yeah, that's the one thing that makes me the most angry about pop-ups is they put a buy it now button, not buy it now, but a buy this item button right where your like change car or go race button is. So yeah, and they time it just so as soon as you click on the vent and your finger is going to hit the race button or the change car button, it's designed to make sure you click on that. That makes me mad. That really makes me mad. I know they're doing that on purpose. You know, I should make a video about that. I should make a video about that and complain. Slick says, I need some Captain Morgan right now. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Slick says, last time the pop-up came, it made me buy something. Well, generally you can back out of there. You don't actually have to buy it, right? I probably have made a video about that, but it couldn't hurt to make another one. Green Viper says, I talked to game support about upping tokens for the GT350 because of the time limits. Game support, alright, here's the deal. This game is out to sell you things, right? They want you to buy tokens or buy stuff with real money. You gotta remember, these games are a business. They're out to sell you stuff. So they're not here to give you a bunch of free stuff and make your life easy. You know, as a mobile game, they got to give you some free stuff, I guess. You know, they got to give you some things you can do for free, but the majority of the things in these mobile games is designed to get you to buy everything. Oh, it used your Face ID. You know, I don't set up, I make mine, so I have to put in an actual password if I make a purchase. So before every purchase, I have to type in a password. I don't think I would ever set up a Face ID or a fingerprint for quite a few reasons, I guess. I mean, certain things, I don't know, they freak me out. But no, it's kind of like some of the stuff is kind of messed up, I will say. But you know, what can you do? Not much, really. Not much. You can only do what you can do, and that's pretty much it. So They're not going to change things like that. Alright, here we go. I don't remember whose turn it is to win. It must be mine because he slowed down. Star's got some Jack Daniels. Yeah, I can't drink too much alcohol because most of it's made with wheat or barley. But Jack Daniel isn't, or if there is any wheat or barley products in there, it must be distilled out or something. So that's something I can actually have. Most alcohol I can't have. But I quit drinking a long time ago. When I was younger, I had a lot of fun going out to the bars. There used to be a little local punk rock bar, and every I don't know if it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It might have been all 3 days. They had bands play in the basement. Then during the week, they would have a acoustic act or something upstairs. So I used to go out to that little bar all the time and catch the bands, and it was a lot of fun. But one day I realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm spending a lot of extra. The amount of money I'm spending, even though it was dollar drafts at that bar, I'm still I'm spending I don't even know how much at that bar all the time, plus tipping the waitress and all that junk. That's hundreds of dollars a month I'm wasting. So one day I was just I'm just not gonna drink anymore, and I quit. It was too expensive. I always wondered, back then I was I don't know, 20 years old, had some crappy job that didn't pay well, and I always wondered why I was broke. Slick's hungover. That's no fun. Oh, wow. OGNJEN. Ogen M. Hello, hello. He says, do you have your own crew? Yeah, right now I'm the leader of a crew, actually. What made me start playing CSR2? I don't know. I've always liked car games. I guess that's the best answer I can give you, is I've always enjoyed car games. And this is a car game, and one day I was like, hey, let's download this and try it out. That's pretty much it. That's the best of my memory right there. Alright, JP says Revelations 20. Is that where it talks about dragons? Oh, he put a bunch. Okay, I see. Genesis 3, Psalm 74:13, Isaiah 27:1, Revelations 12. Okay. So I guess it must talk about dragons or something like that several times, huh? Interesting. That's interesting. I'm going to have to look that up, actually. 3, 2, 1, go. But I wonder what they referred to as dragons back then. That's actually quite intriguing. How much would you spend at the bar? I don't know. I'm really not sure. My guess is probably... Well, I used to go 7 days a week, right? I used to go hang out with my friends every day. Probably 10, 20, 30 bucks a day, I'm guessing. 10 or 20 bucks a day. Yeah, you know, I'm sure giants existed as well. Max says dinosaurs are depicted a lot in medieval stuff. You know, I'm glad we don't have to deal with dinosaurs right now. Oh, how long have I been a crew leader? I don't know, you know, I used to kind of take turns off and on. So I joined my first crew and it was junk. So a week later or 2 weeks later, I left and I joined the crew I'm in now. And me and some other guy have basically taken turns being the leader here and there. So, you know, he was the leader for a while, then I was, then they took back over, and now I'm the leader again. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. I can only kind of take some guesses at that. But I've been either an admin or a leader of the crew for the last pretty much 8 years. But the first crew I joined, after a couple of weeks, I finally figured out how to figure out who's playing and who's not. And I think there was me and one other guy earning points, and that was it. Nobody else, everybody else in the crew was probably quit the game. So I was like, oh, there's nobody actually playing here. So after like 2 weeks, I left, and then I just randomly joined another crew, and it happened to be the one that I'm in now. And I think there was like 15, we had like 15 people in there. And half of them are really awesome, half of them sucked. Eventually, you know, it grew into a good crew, but it took a while. It took quite a while. Alright, I need to pee, guys and gals. I'm going to take a quick pee break. I will be right back. I'm going to run some ads on the stream because that's how us YouTubers get paid. So if you don't mind watching some advertisements, I would definitely appreciate that. So yeah, I'm going to play a couple ads while I run to the toilet and take a wee-wee. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I have returned. I had to run to the bathroom all the way across the house because someone's in the one right next to my room, so I had to make a long trip. Long trip. Alright. End break. There we go. Ba-bam. Alrighty. Oh, JP28, you are Sin Snips. Okay. What's up, Sin Snips? I remember last time you came in here and said that, but yeah, I'm glad you said that. What's up, Sin Snips? How you doing today? My memory is not good, so I didn't associate the two names together. I'll try to remember that, but yeah, my memory is terrible. Sin, how you doing, my man? Hope everything is going good for you. I hope all is well. I really hope all is going well. Melon says, guys, smash that like button. That would definitely be very nice. We would appreciate that a lot. Does anybody know a good tune for the Honda NSX Type R 1992 0 stars? I think the world record sheet, if you got it up to stage 6 with all the fusion parts, I think the world record sheet shows you a 0-star tune for that. But how many parts you have on it can sometimes play a role in that as well. But offhand, I couldn't tell you what would be the best tune, but how many fusion parts you have. A lot of the newer cars, it may or may not matter, but most of the older cars, they were very part specific on the tune. I mean, things have changed a lot over the years on the way they're setting up cars. But generally, when you don't have very many stars on those Elite Tuners cars, they're normally kind of slow. They're a lot slower with no stars. Just so you guys know, you really need to get some of those tokens and put those in there. I think once you hit like 4 or 5 stars, they usually start doing pretty good, but at no stars, they're a lot slower. Like most of mine, I try to get them up to like 5 stars. I think that's where they normally start to perform pretty good. Sin Snips, your memory's bad too. You know, I used to have a pretty decent memory, but I'm not really sure what happened to it. I should have filled up my gas tank. What's up, Bullet? How you doing today? Alright, so Elite Tuners events and Showdown races are the easiest way to earn those tokens. I mean, the blue ones and the green ones are the easiest to get. The game gives those both out like crazy. Maybe not like crazy, but they add up way faster than the pink or the gold tokens. I think I made a video that shows, like, I don't know if there was like 6 ways or 9 ways. There's several different ways to get those tokens, but there's really 2 main ways. Showdown racing, you know, the red or the purple showdowns, or doing the Elite Tuners events. I think those are the 2 quickest main ways to get those. Alright. You're not doing good health-wise, Sin Snips? Man, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. That sucks big time. One thing I hate is that people in general have to have so many health issues and whatnot. I mean, it's terrible that people have to be so. I mean, some people are lucky and they're pretty damn healthy and feel great the majority of their life, but there's a lot of people who don't as well, and that sucks. Alright, Carl says for some reason the blue ones are getting hard to get. Yeah, I'm not sure if they've changed how many they're giving out, but the blue ones don't seem as easy to get as they used to. That's for sure. But you're still going to get the blue ones faster than like the golds or the purples, I do believe. Slick's got 8,000 blue, but only 600 reds. Yeah, the ones I always struggle with. Normally, I struggle with getting red ones most of the time. Those are rough to get, actually. Stacks, how you doing today? Hope you're doing awesome. Boss says, can I max out my GR Supra like my first car to Elite 35? So here's the deal, right? The Elite Tuner Supra is a very nice car. It's probably, it's probably the first really good car you're going to get for free, at least for most people. It's a great car. I mean, on stage 4, if you max it out to 5 purple stars, you set it up on stage 4 parts, it's a great live racer. When you max it out and run it maxed out, it's decently fast. It just does a great job. It's just an all-around really nice car. Now, there are some Elite Tuners cars you're going to get in the future that are better than the Supra. For example, I think the Honda Civic is better than the Supra. The Silvia is better. The Corvette is better. There's a lot of cars that are better than it now in Elite Tuners, but those don't come till later in the add-on events. But I would say it's not a bad idea to really focus on that Supra, because that Supra is really nice. Carl Foster says, feel better. Yeah, we definitely hope you feel better, Sin. But I think that Supra is a great car overall. It's just a nice, well-rounded car. Now, there are a few Elite Tuners cars I would rather drive than the Supra, but I still think the Supra is one of my favorite easy-to-get cars in this game that's really nice. Max says, better is a relative term. True. But, some of them are just as good at live racing on the right setup, but run faster than the Supra. So, personally, I think the Supra is something newer players should definitely focus on once they get it. Just because it's really nice. I mean, you'll probably use that thing for years and years and years if you play that long. It's just an all-around really nice car. Slick needs 700 reds to max my Honda. I'll tell you what, it takes so long, it's crazy. Max says, I never impressed with faster since it's all lobbied anyways. For live racing, yes. Now, if a car shows up in the showdown, that's when faster actually matters. But you can make the Supra beat the dyno time by a bit. You can make it good at live racing. It's decently fast. The acceleration is nice. The top speed is nice. I mean, honestly, it's got a lot going for it. Slick says, Larry's GTA is a turd toggle. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, unfortunately. Ooh, a yellow... Wait a second. What the heck? It showed me a yellow Honda Civic. That is not a yellow Honda Civic right there, Slowpoke. Your game fooled me, man. He's a disguise artist. A disguise artist, I tell you. He disguised that thing as a Honda Civic. Max said they just want you to waste resources. That is true. A lot of things they do these days is kind of designed to try to get you to spend your resources, and probably in hopes that you will buy more resources with your real money. Alright, the game's having all kinds of connection issues right now. Max, so the CLK GTR is crap. You know, it's decently fast, but yeah, it may not be the world's greatest car. I mean, it's currently good to win the prize car out of the showdown, but it's not something I would drive on a regular basis, you know? Bullet says, I forget the name, but it has a body kit. There's a lot of cars in this game with body kits. There's a lot of Elite Tuners cars that you can put body kits on, but most of the boss cars are really bad, Bullet. So there's a couple of tier 1 boss cars that I still like. I still like the Sesto Elemento, even though it's not one of the better cars in the game anymore, but most of the boss cars are actually pretty bad. Depending on what you're trying to do with them, they're not the greatest. They are not the greatest. Alright, Jamie says, is the Plymouth Cuda Torque Weaver Customs any good? It's okay, I guess. It's an okay car, nothing special. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do with it, but it's decent at best, I would say. Cool car, but I don't think it's the greatest car in the game or anything. Melon says the Cuda is not a good car. Bullet says, oh, the Vorsteiner R8. Unfortunately, most of the Audi R8s in this game aren't wonderful. I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish with the car, but I don't think the Vorsteiner R8 is going to be like your best bet for much. One thing about this game is we probably have over 1,500 cars now, and the majority of them are bad to decent at best. And then there's the small handful of cars that are really good to excellent. So that's one thing you got to realize about this game is there's only like a small handful of really good cars. There's a lot of good to decent ones, a lot of really bad ones, and a few awesome ones, basically. So it kind of depends on what it is you're trying to do with the car, whether or not it's going to work out for you. For example, let's just say you're trying to beat Tempest. Pretty much every tier 5 car in the game, except for maybe like 4 or 5 of them, can beat the Tempest bosses if you put enough parts in them, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good car. Max says, don't bet money against the Vorsteiner. Is that a down-tunable car, Max? That might be a down-tunable car then. I mean, some cars you can actually down-tune to make them beat the dyno like crazy. I don't get into down tuning because I think it's kind of like wonky. It's a wonky to down-tune car, so I don't do it. Some people love it, but I don't really agree with down-tuning personally. What's up, Black Phantom? How's your day going? William D says 5 in 100 cars are decent. Black Phantom, I hope your day is going awesome today. Melon says Avant RS6 GT was a PC car 2 weeks ago, and Milestone some. Yeah, the Avant, the RS6, those are good cars actually. The Avant RS6 is awesome. That's a great car. Pretty much all those Audi RS6 and RS7 cars. Wait. Hopefully I'm not thinking the wrong Audi when you're talking about the Vorsteiner, but the RS6s and RS7s are really good. But most of the R8s I've never really cared for. Alright, so the C10 Tiffany is a beautiful truck, but it's pretty bad. The only thing the C10 Tiffany is good at is looking awesome. It's pretty terrible. It's one of those things where you get it and you think it's going to be amazing, but it's very disappointing. Unfortunately. I was really happy when I got one. I'm still really happy to have it because I love the way it looks. It's just cool to have in your collection, but when it comes to being good, unfortunately, it is not. The end swaps, buddy. I know we've been swapping a bunch today, so I just want to say thank you for the swaps there. I think we got disconnected, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I should probably say thank you. DJ VH, what's going on? If you get an Android emulator like LD Player, you can play these games on your computer. But if you're on iOS, I don't think something like that exists. You got to be an Android player, I believe. But no, there's a lot of cars in the game. I wish they would buff them and make them better, but they don't. They probably never will. We're stuck with some of these old cars being bad, even if they seem like they should be great. Unfortunately, they're not. But I do wish they were. Green Viper says, getting people to bed is a trick too. Yeah, if you got a really good car, or, you know, a lot of people kind of know better. They realize if somebody makes a big old bet, their car is probably down-tuned and they're going to destroy you. So a lot of people won't take bets. Some people will take small bets. Some people won't even take that. Some people are like, nope, not betting nothing. 2019 GT Heritage. I think the only thing that's really good for is if you're doing some of those Ford events and it's required for that. But for just general live racing and daily use, it's not the greatest car in the world. Benny Wright, oh, you're in the lobby waiting to race me? For most of the day, it seems like every time I go out to the lobby, hardly anybody's in there. But yeah, it can be kind of hard to get me, unfortunately. Yeah, in order to play on PC, the only way you can do it is to have an Android account on an Android emulator. So you need to make a Gmail, because you have to sign into the, you got to sign into the Google Play Store with an Android account, just like you would on an Android phone. So basically the emulator has the Google Play Store on it, so you download LD Player, get it all set up, then you log into the Play Store and then you can play these games. Bullet says, any of the tier 5 Porsches. There's a lot of Porsches in this game and they're very hit and miss. there are some really good Porsches in the game. I'm trying to remember which ones are really, really good. I mean, there's some that are decent, there's a lot that are bad, and there's a handful that are great, but ah, man. I'm trying to remember which Porsches are actually good. Yeah, the Rennsport, that's a good one. Like Max said, the Rennsport is very good. Ojin Gen M says, I'm going to make a tune you made for the Honda a long time ago. There's a lot of Hondas. I don't know if you mean like the Indy truck. That Indy truck's a cool deal. I like the Indy truck. I like the new Honda Civic too, the Elite Tuners one. Sad thing is though, it's hard to find good cars. But yeah, there are a few really good Porsches. That black 911 we just recently got is pretty darn good, but I can't remember. Some of those Porsches, the names are really long and there's like 50 different letters in there. It's like 911 RWB 992.375876 Vorsteiner Classic Torque Turbo Coupe, and you're like, oh my god, that's the some of the cars have crazy names, and that makes it very hard to remember which ones are which. So yeah. But some of the names make it really hard to know what's what, I think. Porsche is one of those deals where there might be like so many different 911s in the game, it's unreal. I mean, they're all 911s, but they all have different numbers and letters and symbols and characters and things in their name, and yeah. Max says NSX Type R 1992 is not a good Elite Tuners car. Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do with it. I mean, it's pretty good for the current Showdown right now, right? That's a great Showdown car. If you got it close to maxed out or maxed out, you can probably win the prize car with it. I mean, problem is there's a lot of cars that are hit and miss. Now, here's one thing. If you go watch some of the videos I make on these cars, usually it shows you how to drive it on stage 5, it shows you how to drive it on stage 6, it shows you a live racing setup. Now, there are some cars that have a decent live racing setup, then there are some cars that have great live racing setups. But one thing to look for is on the low upgrade live racing setups, if you're trying to live race a car, if it has double the Evo points compared to the performance points, that's good. If it has triple, that's really, really, really good. Normally, not always, but normally the cars where you can get more than triple the performance points to EVO points, those are cars that are normally really tunable and can dominate if you know what you're doing. Not always, but usually. So if the car doesn't have at least double the EVO versus performance points, normally that means it's just going to be so-so at live racing, but will probably still win a couple. The cars that have more than double usually do pretty decent, and the cars with triple are usually the best live racing cars. Hopefully I explained that right, but Slick, I don't actually have that Mercedes in the Showdown. Yeah, the We Suck package. The Porsche We Suck package. I don't actually know how to pronounce that word, so I think Max was the one that, I can't remember if Max came out with We Suck, but I think he did. And then that caught on. I'm like, yep, We Suck package sounds pretty good. Three, two, one, go. I think we only have one Elite Tuners NSX, right? I'd have to look to be sure, but crazy thing is there's just so many cars now, sometimes it's hard to keep track. Now there's several different NSXs in the car, but yeah, the Legends NSX, you know, it's okay. A lot of people really like the Tier 4 Legends NSX. I shouldn't say it's okay. The Tier 4 Legends NSX is a car loved by many people. Some of those Legends cars are great. Most of them I don't like. Max says your PC has to have a good RAM and processor. Yeah, you do need a pretty decent processor. I think the emulator is pretty hard on your computer's processor, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure how much RAM you need, but I mean, generally, I think the standard amount of RAM these days is about 32 gigs of RAM. So I think if you got 32 gigs of RAM and a decent processor in your computer, you'll probably be able to play pretty well on the emulator. But each emulator, I think if you're on their website, they'll usually tell you like the recommended specs. So it'll be like, you need to have this or better for this to run right. So that's something you definitely want to check out. But there's different settings, like you can set the LD player to run on 1 core, 2 cores, 3 cores, 4 cores. You can set how much RAM you want it to use and all that stuff too. So maybe if you play with some of those settings, that'll fix stuff up. I'm not 100% sure. But you know, it could be the computer you're playing on just isn't really like compatible with it, or who knows what. But for me, LD player runs very smoothly. Max says 64-bit or 32-bit. You know what I don't really understand is I think I downloaded the 64-bit version, but it still runs most of these games. Most of the instances I put, I think, are 32-bit. Oh yeah, also yeah, LD Player 9 is the newer one. That's definitely the one you want to get. I don't know if you can still download the older versions of LD Player, but they sucked compared to 9. 9 is so much better. I don't know whose turn it is to win here. But there is a possibility your PC just doesn't like it. But you can probably go into your LD player settings and look to see if there's things you can change around to make it run better. Like, let's just say you got a 6-core processor, change LD player to use 3 cores. If you got, you know, let's say you got 16 gigs of RAM, set LD player to use 8. You want to use about half the cores and half of the RAM. If that makes any sense. Crystal X said, I just wish they made a PC port for the game. You know, I'm surprised they never came out with this game on PC, to tell you the truth. Not all mobile games, but a lot of mobile games have Android version, an iOS version, and a PC version. And a lot of them you can sign into the game and play it on, you know, your account on any of them. To where this Android and iOS are separate. I just lost my train of thought. Alright, Crystal X, I'm going to go back out to the lobby. I think there's a few people waiting, so thank you for the swaps. I probably wasn't paying. I'm just not paying good attention today. Alright, Black Newbie from Russia. In the Viper SR2. I'll tell you what, Vipers are such cool looking cars. I hear they're really hard to handle. Someone once offered to let me drive their Viper, and I was like, nah, I would love to, but if we get in a wreck or something, I'm not going to be responsible for your $100,000 car or whatever they cost. I would have loved to have taken it for a drive, but I'm always one of those people that say better safe than sorry, so I didn't. Max, out of here. If so, have a great day. Slick says, this scene is the worst. You know, RAM parts, well, that's the thing. We only have one RAM in the game, I think, which is that truck. So that makes it hard. Yeah, we got around 15 minutes left in the stream. I guess there's not that many people in here waiting to race me after all, maybe. I don't know. I hate to say it, but that Civic actually looks good in the stock color that it originally came with. It fits the car. I think that's probably the stock color right there. I don't know why, but I have a really hard time getting that Civic to look good. I don't like most of the colors available on it, which is surprising. All right. All right, Slick, you're asking what the next Prestige Cup is? Ah, crap. I just made a video about that. I'm trying to remember what it was. My memory sucks. I mean, I think it was like yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday I made that video and I've already forgot. Oh yeah, the Targa, yeah, the Porsche 911 Targa 4 GTS or whatever. Silent, thank you, buddy. Ah, we got a Mustang. We got to race this crazy Mustang right here. Let's see if we can get him. You can do it. 3, 2, 1, go. I need a memory transplant or something. Anybody know how I get one of those? Because I'm not sure. There's got to be a way to do it, right? Uh-oh, Crystal X says, Donna crashed my game. Darn you, Donna. Oh, man. Slick says, ugly yellow. Yeah, you know, there's not a lot of nice looking colors for that Porsche, in my opinion. The yellow color that it comes in is like a really weird... It's not a normal yellow. It's like a... What do you call it? Like a pastel yellow or something? It's a really strange looking color. I'm not sure if I like that color of yellow. I think the white one and the black one looks nice. But yeah, I got one in that really strange yellow color myself. And it's really weird looking. I actually need to check to see if I've upgraded that car yet. Yeah, 992.2, I think that's what it is. 992.2, yeah, Porsche has too many numbers in their car names. That's hard to remember. Now, a name like a Viper or a Scorpion or a Pantera, that's pretty easy to remember, but 911 992.3 turbo or something like that. That's not exactly what I would call an easy name to remember. That's how I look at it. Yeah, we should be in the 11-4-ish lobby. Normally the pinned comment will tell you about what lobby we should be in today. I usually always try to pin one. Black Phantoms is the yellow Targa is awful. Didn't build the milestone version, so I'll pull a fresh one. Dave, I hope you get something other than the yellow one. My fear is if I go in there and I spend my keys to get another one, it'll probably give me another terrible yellow one. What's up, Nancy? How are you today? That's the luck I have. It'd be like, here's another P yellow. Melon says, is DT car the same as the 911 992 Porsche? I'm not sure what that means, Melon. Nathan says, Danny, do you miss the old days where the 918 and the LaFerrari were the top of the food chain? I'm not sure I've ever had either one of those cars, honestly, so I don't know. I might have a 918, I'm not sure, but I still don't think I ever got a LaFerrari, to tell you the truth. I feel like that's probably one of the rarest cars in this game. It's not any good. I mean, maybe at one point of the time, maybe at one point it was, but right now it's a terrible, 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 terrible car. Ah, the Civic beat me. Is down-tuned car same as the 911 992 Porsche? I don't know. I don't ever down-tune anything, honestly. I never mess with down-tuning. That's not something I get into. I can't really answer anybody's questions about down-tuning as I don't do it. The only car I think I've ever down-tuned was the F12 Berlinetta back when I first found out that you could do it. I tried it out and I was like, yeah, you know, this seems unfair, and then I've never done it again, to tell you the truth. Whoa, that was weird. That car disappeared. Black Phantom says the red 992 is the monster. How many 992s do we have in this game? Probably a bunch. Jamie said the first Porsche they gave me was the 918 Spider. I'm guessing mine was probably the Boxster. I remember when I won the Boss Porsche, I was really excited. I'm like, I've actually got a really cool 911. And then I found out quickly that it wasn't very good, and I was really disappointed because I was so happy. I'm like, a bright orange 911, this is awesome. And then it wasn't, so yeah. Alright, Nathan says the Gold Star LaFerrari can make a tune for live racing that can beat Dyno by 0.6 seconds. Does it earn any respect points when you have that tune on it? I mean, honestly, dyno beating cars, though, you got to be really careful because the game bumps you really quick these days. I find dyno beating cars are not ideal for live racing anymore. I mean, there was a time when they were great. Everybody ran them, but the game bumps you way too fast if you're beating dyno in live racing. Okay, Melon saying the Targa down tune is vicious. Gotcha. Melon says, the game is not pay to win. You pay because you want to, not because you need to. I agree with that, right? I mean, I've been playing this game for 8 years. I spend about $100 a year on this game only because there's things that I would like to have in it occasionally. I've never needed to spend a dime on this game. Now, there are certain things, if you want to be able to do it, like the bigger events, yes, you're going to have to spend money. But the thing is, you don't have to do those if you don't want to, right? I skip most of the events. I mean, if I was getting 1 million views a month on YouTube, then yeah, maybe I'd be able to afford to buy all the stuff, but, you know. When you post a video and it gets a couple of thousand views, that's only a few dollars, to tell you the truth, most of the time. You gotta be like Mr. Beast to really make a lot of money on YouTube. You gotta be getting crazy views. So I skip most of the stuff, you know. I mean, I do the stuff I can, skip the stuff I can't, and I'm generally pretty happy, you know. I have fun with this game nonetheless. I mean, you just got to realize without spending money, you're not going to be able to do everything. William said, I never spent a dime. It was always dollars they charged me. Ah, crap, I'm out of gas. All right, well, we've only got like 5 minutes left anyway, so I think we're going to back out of here. I want to say thank you for swapping, everybody. That was fun. I was not very good. I apologize to people I swapped with today because I was not very good at paying attention to what I was doing. I'm sorry. The End was donating some money, some game cash today. Thank you. Green Viper says the F12 Berlinetta was the old school top car. You know, that game was that car was very popular when I first started. Let's try something out. Check this out, guys. Watch this. Look, Mom, no hands. 992. Alright, look how many 992s. There's 1 992, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, this 911 GT3R 992, that's a cool car. So there's 7 992s in the game. There might even be a couple more that I don't have. So 7 of the cars that I own are 992s. But yeah, look at this thing. This is so gross. The color is terrible. I mean, the sad thing is I think this is a car they must actually offer in this color. Maybe in real life it would look different, but what is this? This is like a... I don't even know what you would call this color. Cartanja yellow? Cartanja yellow. I mean, it looks like watered down yellow. I don't know. But it's not pretty to look at. Yeah, this is a pretty good Porsche right here. The Rennsport, this is actually a nice one for live racing if you know how to set it up. That's a great Porsche. But this thing, ugh, so gross. And I did not upgrade it yet. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try and pull another one or just upgrade this and use it because I don't know. I'll figure it out. Alright, Slick says, can you even ever swap in the Hyper 7.7? Are you asking me? One of the reasons I normally stick with slower cars is a lot of the people that come to the stream say they don't have cars that are fast enough to get into the faster lobbies. But I've actually got a lot of nice cars laying around that I've never upgraded, just for the fact that if you try and upgrade every single car you ever get, I would not have that 160,000. Like, this is a car I would really like to upgrade one day, but I don't remember why I didn't upgrade this one yet. I've been meaning to do it for a while, but this thing is pretty awesome. Stacks, have a great day, man. I was actually thinking about one day maybe setting up something for a faster lobby, but I always get a lot of complaints is the problem. So many people say, I don't have cars that fast. I don't know, maybe we'll set something up for like a 7.7 lobby next week. Why not? You know? Maybe we'll try it again with a fast car and see what happens. I'm sure I can get a car into the 7.7s. Yeah, this is a car I should probably upgrade. I mean, there's a lot of cars I should upgrade, but I just haven't. If I upgraded every single good live racing car I've ever got, I would probably run through that 168,000 game cache in a couple of days. That's the problem with it. And I would probably run out of parts as well. That's the other problem. Melon says it'll be harder to find you. You know, Melon, that's probably a pretty good point as well if you think about it, because there's probably more people. I mean, that 7.7 lobby is a very popular lobby. It may actually be harder to find me. Logan says make it 8.0. You know what? Let me check something. Doesn't my RWB run around 8.0? I always have fun driving that. Even though it's not the best car in the game, I've always liked it. RWB. Let me see if that's set up for an 8.8. If so, maybe we'll run this one next week. Or 8.0, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I really enjoy this. Crystal X, have a great day. If it's not, I could probably get it set up to run that. I don't remember this being... Oh, 7.7. Yeah, I could get this. I could probably get this into the 7.7 or the 8.0 lobby, to tell you the truth. Maybe we'll go ahead and run this car next week. Why not? Slick says 7.7 is way easier to find anyone. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, but maybe we'll try this car next week and see if people can find me in the 7.7 lobby. If not, then I can tune it a little bit. But I love driving this car for some weird reason. I've always, even though this isn't the best car in the game, I've always really enjoyed it. Don't know why. Really don't. But I like it. It's decent at best, but I like it. Alright, guys and girls, I just want to say thank you all so much for coming out to my live stream. I do appreciate you guys. We'll probably be back on Friday and next Sunday as well for some more live streaming. But I think that's the deal right there. Yeah. Alright. I forget what I was going to say, but I was going to say something. It felt very important, but it probably wasn't. I'm actually going to change some parts around on that Porsche and try to get it into a slower lobby just to make sure it's reset. I'm going to try and reset it. Later I'll run some live races, then I'll let it set the next week, and that way it should probably get into whatever lobby, because it may have been pushed by now, I'm not sure, but we'll do that just to double check, just to be sure. Alright, guys and girls, thanks for coming out. You're all awesome. Have a wonderful day, and we will catch you next time. See ya.